Hi, my name's Andrew Dye. I'm the Operations Director for Unity Homes. This video was supposed to be about how Unity uses blower door equipment to measure the air tightness of our homes, but it turned out to be about something else, which is how we can use a blower door to help find and seal air leaks. At Unity, one of the ways that we make our homes healthy and comfortable and energy efficient is by using airtight construction, and then we provide a continuous supply of filtered fresh air to the finished home. I shot this video at the completed shell of a Värm-style home in Kerhonkson, New York. The trip to the site also gave me a chance to deliver a door and meet with the client and with the builder and key subcontractors to discuss their next steps for finishing the shell and to answer any questions they might have. The video starts with a quick walkthrough of the house. So in order to do a blower door test, you want to seal all the penetrations through the shell and the slab. So any pipes, any conduits, any knockouts, any chases, any vents. Fortunately, these have mostly been sealed. I'll double check. Gonna have to cover up things like this conduit, but there's caps on everything. The caps appear to be tight. I'll seal these pieces of conduit here, PVC. There's a tight cap already where the toilet goes. The plumbing vents are capped, so we're actually in really good shape here. And I'm actually not seeing anything here on the second floor that needs to be sealed. It can be a little tricky with this membrane to get it airtight, but the guys do a careful job installing it, so I'm going to be checking that when the blower door is running. And then when the plumber makes his or her penetration through this membrane, we're going to have to make sure that that hole and any other holes are very well sealed, but that's really going to be the main focus of my discussion with the subcontractors later today here. So here we've got the parts and pieces of the blower door set up. We've got the frame. I'll pull those parts and pieces out and assemble the frame. There's the shroud that creates the seal at the opening. We've got the fan itself and some different rings for closing down the airflow. And then kind of the heart of it here is this manometer, this thing that looks like a calculator. That's going to be measuring the airflow. And there'll be a tube attached to the fan and a tube that goes outside. I'm going to set the blower door up in this rough opening here. Typically we'll leave one door uninstalled in the wall panels when we deliver them from our shop so that it can be used as construction access. I'm delivering this door today to the site. Another reason to come here in addition to doing the blower door test, but this will be a good place to set up the frame for the blower door. So now I have the frame loosely set up in the rough opening. I want to leave a little space around it so that I can fit the shroud around the frame. And so I've got the shroud wrapped around the frame, fastened loosely in place with Velcro, and then I'm going to put it into the rough opening and tighten it up. So the way the frame tightening works is you've got these knobs that you extend the frame and then you tighten this knob, and then once the knob is tightened, to get that extra bit of tightness and seal the frame against the gasket, you use these cams. All right, not seeing any daylight around the frame, around the shroud. I think we're ready to put in the fan. Okay, I attached the manometer to the frame here at convenient height to work on. You can see there's a green tube, that's the reference tube that goes through the shroud to the outside. I toss that over to the side. We've got the input tube, the red one, attached to the manometer, and that's fastened to the top of the blower door. We've got the fan connected to the manometer with a power cable, and then we've got the manometer plugged into the extension cord. All right, this is the setup. I think we're ready to start turning stuff on and see what happens. All right, so I'm having some issues here. I've got the manometer plugged in, pressing the on button, getting some readings here. It's set at pressure on the left hand, so that's the mode. I want to change the mode for the blower door test, so I should be able to just press this button twice and get that to change, but nothing's changing here. I should be able to press device and get a selection of devices in the upper left. That's not changing either. I press clear. Not sure that's doing anything. Units. I should be getting pascals here, and I'm going to clear that, or maybe not. I'm going to turn it off. Ooh, could there be issues with the DG700? Let's try that again. Turn it on. Gonna press mode twice. Nothing's changing. All right, I'm gonna try and troubleshoot this. The only thing I can think is maybe the batteries are low. Looked like we were getting a little bit of a battery sign there, BAT, but then it goes away. I'll see if I can find some batteries. Well, fortunately there's extra batteries in the case. And unfortunately, the new batteries do not seem to have done the trick. Mode. What am I missing here? So I talked with Alex Morin, our lower door specialist, and he actually said that he had the same issue with this manometer yesterday. Thanks a lot, Alex. Just kidding. And he said he just messed with it, and eventually he got it to work. So I'm going to keep messing with it and hope that something changes. Try not to resort to using a hammer. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for this to fix itself, I'm going to turn on the blower door and go find some air leaks if I can. I'm going to use a very sophisticated and sensitive tool for finding air leaks, the back of my hand. And I'm going to focus on the intersections or the joints basically, so just trying to feel for air leakage around all the windows and all the corner joints, where there's any penetrations, plumbing pipes, at the electrical conduit, at the base of the walls on the first floor, at the tops of the walls at the second floor. It's fairly easy to air seal something that's two-dimensional coming together, like these joints in the inner air barrier, the OSB. Where it gets tricky is when you have three things coming together, so that's really where I'm going to focus. All right, I've basically been through the whole house. Didn't find much for air leakage. The only significant air leakage that I could feel was right down here, coming in at each corner of the door. I'm not seeing daylight, but that's a tricky spot, and I'll put some tape on there. I thought I might have felt a little bit here where I've marked it. No, there's nothing there. I must have been imagining it. There's a gasket there, and so as long as the gasket's continuous, we're good. This is another potentially tricky area for air sealing at the roof and wall and timber of this office guest bump out. There's just a lot of stuff going on here, and I was up there on the ladder feeling for air leakage, fully expecting to feel some and to tape it up, but I didn't feel any. So kudos to the guys who put the shell up. Same thing with that joint between the roof and the wall panel. Occasionally we'll get some leakage there if the gasket's not perfect, but it's really good all the way around. So no need to do any reinforcing of the air sealing in these joints. So I checked around all the windows, checked the conduits, checked the pipes, checked the corners, base of wall. Still got the fan going. Blue's helping. Gonna head up to the second floor. I've already done this, but I'll tell you what I found. So up here, really good. Again, it's pretty straightforward to seal the flat joints in this membrane. The edges were all very well sealed of the membrane. This corner here maybe could use a little bit of reinforcing with some foam. Didn't find anything at any of the windows. This corner here could use a little bit. Maybe just something, a little more tape up here on top of this corner of this RO for some reason, felt a little there. But that's basically it. I couldn't detect any air leaks using the back of my hand, which, as I've said, is pretty sensitive. So that's all good. That bodes well for the blower door test. Now we just got to get that manometer to work. So here's the outside of the bottom corners of the door. You can see that's a pretty tough thing to seal, but you can also see why there might be a little bit of air getting through there. So I'll seal that with some more tape and it should be good. So I taped the outside, but I'm also shooting some low expanding foam on the inside of these corners just for a bit of belted suspenders. All right, so I injected some foam into the lower corners here. That'll get cleaned off once it's dry. That took care of the air leakage there. So I blasted a couple of these upper corners with some foam. I really wasn't feeling much air coming through, but maybe there was a little air coming through there somewhere. I don't know, not much. But I got to do something while I'm waiting for that manometer to fix itself. Well, I wasn't able to get the DG700 manometer to work properly. It came a little bit to life. Started to get some activity from the buttons, but not enough to actually use it to do the blower door test. So I think we got a real airtight shell from what I could tell. I'm not concerned about that, but we'll just have to come back. Blue, you think it's pretty airtight too? Yeah, she wants to go home. I think we'll call it good for the day. and we'll get back here some other time. I was talking with the owner about maybe getting back here once the mechanicals have been roughed in, because that would be an interesting time to check the air tightness as well and see, just to make sure that it's still good. Signing off from Kerhonkson, New York.